Hello, Libra. Welcome. Take a seat and relax. There's nothing you need to do in this present moment except to enjoy this reading. Alright, we got a little more of a darker mood, darker lighting here today because I really wanted this guy in the reading today. I really wanted the colors moving, and if I had my normal lighting, then you wouldn't be able to see it. So we have a little bit more of a nice little mood lighting, you know. And I hope you can still see the cards, but yeah, I'm enjoying this vibe. And especially enjoy seeing this card, number 30. As the Perfektenschlag card, right? Schrutes have a word for when everything is coming together perfectly. That word is Perfektenschlag. And it's not to be confused with perfect pork anus. So yeah, life is saying that things are coming together perfectly here. Even though they don't seem like they're coming together perfectly, I promise you, things are coming together perfectly. King of Cups and the Ten of Wands. Interesting. Okay. Ten of Wands. This also was in the Gemini reading. The Ten of Wands is all about like life being a burden, right? We are in the fire suit, and the fire is all about movement, right? That's why it's about like jobs and careers and hobbies and everything like that, because it's all about movement, right? When you are at home, you can be still. And then we leave home to go move and do stuff. And then we come back home, right, to be still. But sometimes we do too much, right? We are at the 10 of Wands. That's the last card of each suit is the number 10. So this is where life feels heavy. Everything, stress, everything is coming together, and then it goes. And then it goes. And then it goes. Right? So we can take muscles, for example, right? You take muscle apart, right? Muscle's feeling like this, and then when it heals back, it grows back together stronger. Right? I feel like this is what we do, right, with God. If God is home, right, then we split ourselves up from God, and then we eventually go back home, and we're probably gonna split ourselves up again, and then we'll go back home, right? But each time you go back home, you come back home stronger, right? Just like muscles, that's how muscles work. You tear them apart so they can grow back stronger. And this is how life works, right? Why does God allow bad things to happen? Well, that's why, because it makes you stronger. It makes you see things, right? Now, that's why he made this place called Earth, because if it is a simulation, like how people say, right? Well, imagine how do people are training things nowadays. They train with a simulator, right? They before someone flies a plane, I'm pretty sure they go through a flying simulator first, right? Why? Because if they mess up in the simulator, guess what? They're not gonna hurt anyone, because it's just a simulator, right? So imagine God made these cool little humans, right? And he's like, hey, I'm gonna make a simulator for them so that they don't hurt themselves or other people while they're figuring life out. And that's why this place is here. It's like this place exists. That's why bad things happen, because it's not that, because how else are we going to learn? So the 10 of Wands. So this is a feeling of life being a burden. So how are we going to tackle that? Well, we should embody the King of Cups. Okay, so things I like to say about all the court cards, and this includes all of the zodiacs as well, because people like to blame, oh, I am this way because I'm a Pisces, I am this way because I'm a Libra, yeah, I don't like him because he's a Scorpio, I don't know, and and it doesn't work that way. What the zodiacs are just like, right, if I have my body, right, how can I explain the body? Well, I have 2 hands, right? I have 2 feet, right? My hands are good for certain things. My feet are good at other things that my hands can't do, you know. So my feet are there for that, you know. I have a chest, you know. I have thighs, I have a head, you know, and everything has its own use, you know. Everything is there for a certain use, right? So this is what the zodiac and the court cards are. They're explaining to you everything, all of these possibilities, all of these characteristics that you embody, right? And just like in video games, right, there is usually a defensive unit, you know. There is an attacking, an offensive unit, there is a support, you know. So it's just like that. What makes them different is the way they put their stat points in, right? So and an offensive has more attack, you know, right? A Leo has more of that I see me, you know, characteristics, right? A Pisces has more of that dreamy characteristics. That just means that more stat points are there. Does that mean that Pisces can't use the characteristics of a Leo? Of course they can. They also have that in them, you know. Everybody does. It's just you may put your stat points into particular categories to make you you know, to make you different than other people. And so that is about how I see the court cards and the zodiac signs. They're telling you all the characteristics, all the possibilities, and then it's telling you, hey, these are better at these sort of things, just like my hands is better at some sort of things. And then these other signs are better at these other type of things, just like my feet are better in these type of other things. So same with court cards. So King of Cups. So here, let me read from this book a little bit of the characteristics of the King of Cups. So you know what to look for in yourself, because everybody is going to have these type of characteristics. And you know, sometimes it's better to use your hands in certain situations, right? Sometimes it's better to use your feet in certain situations. So sometimes it's better to embody this King of Cups in certain situations. Sometimes it's better to embody the Queen of Swords in certain situations. Sometimes it's good to embody that Pisces type of energy, you know. Sometimes it's good to embody that Aries type of energy. So King of Cups, right? Look for this in yourself because you do have it. And this is going to help in whatever situation is going on. So the King of Cups is wise, compassionate, diplomatic, sincere, open, tolerant, meditative, calm. Look at those calm, look at those wavy shores, the wavy waters, right? But the King of Cups is calm. Even in rough waters, he is calm. Even if there's movement outside, the King of Cups is calm. So this king's life was not always smooth sailing. The seas were sometimes gentle and other times stormy. This Ten of Wands screams stormy. Through experience, though, he found emotional balance, so that whether the tide rises or falls, he is centered. He is gentle, but not too weak. He has mastered channeling emotions to maintain a harmony and balance. So the important thing here is mastering your emotions. He is a wonderful diplomat, easily able to empathize with many points of view. Emotions are very powerful. They can be destructive or they can be harnessed for good. When they are a raging tide, can you direct them? Their strength may be fearsome, but can you channel your feelings into something constructive? Will you choose to act upon your emotions? How can you take what you are feeling now and put it to productive use? You know, this is why a lot of spiritual teachers say, you know, I'm not the body and I'm not the mind. You know, this is because as soon as those rough waters, right, we become those rough waters. We think we are those rough waters. But, you know, those rough waters have information to tell you. It's just like, you know, we are not our emotions. Our emotions give us information, right? We are outside of these emotions, and those emotions are useful to give us information. And that's how you can master these emotions, not by being the emotions, right? I am mad, I am angry, I am sad, right? You're literally saying that's who you are, but that's not who you are. You are the one feeling those emotions. And so let's see why we are feeling these type of emotions. And that's what we can learn from the King of Cups. Clinging to the past, okay, well, there you go. Is the Five of Cups. This is the emotions at its most blurred state, right? At its more deformed state, right? If we talk about perfection, what's the opposite of perfection? That is number 5. But why is the opposite of perfection useful? Because we wouldn't know what perfection was if we didn't know what the opposite of perfection was. And it's talking about the past. Look at that. clinging to the past. That's what this guy's doing too. Look at that. All of the past. He's clinging onto it. He doesn't want to move on to the next suit. So, but what happens after the 10? A transformation occurs that makes him move on to the next suit. And we are not being able to move on here. We are clinging to the past. Right? But movement is good. This is like, imagine it's daytime, right? And nighttime is coming, but no, you want it to still be daytime. You don't want that daytime. No, but there's nothing you can do about it. It's gonna become night. and night is gonna become day, So this is like you clinging to it being day all of the time. So transform, right? Stillness in the rough waters. Number 13 of the major arcana. So as soon as you let go to this past that you're clinging on to, because life changes, right? Seasons past. It's the same thing with, summer, and you cling to it being summer, and you're denying that autumn is coming. So clinging to the past. There's a past you don't want to let go because things are changing. And especially during these times, right? Things are changing very quickly. And we are in the waters. So water is good at adapting, right? When you have a glass here and you put it in the bowl, the water is going to adapt to the shape of the bowl, right? So we are in the day, and then you adapt to nighttime coming, okay? And so let's start trying to treat these situations in our life that way as well, right? This is almost like, imagine you ride a horse carriage, right? And then cars are invented, and you don't want to let go of that horse carriage because that's what you've known all your life, right? Well, having a car is better, you get to your destination faster. So there needs to be a change. There needs to be a transformation happening here. And this King of Cups type of energy is going to help with this completion. Yep. And the Chariot. Cool. All right. As soon as you're on board, things will happen very quickly. Look at that. That wheel is going to be moving. Completion. Right? 10 of Wands. You completed the Wands. Now let's let go of the Wands. And then let's move on to the next suit. Right? This transformation is completed. Everything is coming together perfectly. Look at that. Alright, and the way I like to explain the Chariot, right? Have you ever walked a dog? Right? It's very simple, easy. You just hold on to the leash, and you go this way or that way, Well, have you ever tried walking two dogs? Walking two dogs can be a little more difficult, right? If one dog wants to go this way and the other dog wants to go that way, well, guess what? You aren't going anywhere because they aren't, on the same track. They aren't on the same page. So one goes that way and the other goes this way. Well, you're not going to go anywhere, right? But as soon as those two dogs start going in the same direction, right? Oof. You start walking so fast. You will start walking so much faster than if you were walking one dog, and you are definitely walking faster than if you weren't walking any dogs at all and you were walking on your own. So the Chariot is, as soon as they're on the same page, right? It's talking about you and life, because life is going to move on. Life is going to become night. Life is going to become day, right? As soon as you are on that same page, then you are going to be going so fast. Things will be coming together so much faster as soon as you get on the same page. Cool. Yeah. We got some things to work on, but look at that outcome. That's what life is all about, right? I like solving riddles. I like puzzles. The whole point of the beginning of the puzzle is you not knowing. The whole point of the puzzle is to be able to figure it out, and how satisfying is it when you do at the end. Reese's Pieces. Cool. 22. Nice. This is one of my favorite scenes in all of The Office. This is one of my favorite cards in all of this deck. This is one of my absolute favorite moments. And it couldn't be done with any two other characters. This scene could have only happened with Michael and Holly. Alright, so this transformation that's happening, this is going to be one of your favorite moments in your life when you look back. Even though it doesn't seem that way right now. But I promise you, as soon as you figure it out, as soon as you get on the same page as life, things are gonna be so exciting and wonderful. And yeah, it's gonna be literally one of your absolute favorite moments in your life. And it's a moment made especially for you. And I just heard a loud honk. So yeah, it's a moment just made especially for you. Nice. Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I would not do that thing. Okay, so the important part about this card is that Dwight asks himself if an idiot would do that, not someone else. So this is the time to listen to yourself. This is the time that you need to figure it out yourself, right? Other people can't figure it out for you, because then you're just like a robot, just doing as people say, you know. You got to figure this out for yourself, because that way you understand it, right? Isn't that the important thing, that you understand what's going on here? Like if I tell you this is one of your favorite moments in your life, but you don't agree, right? You don't see it that way. Well, obviously it's not going to be that way, because you are the one that ultimately creates the meaning of your life, right? So it's something you got to make sure you try to understand. You try to, figure out, right? It's just like, go back to the puzzle thing, right? It's so much more satisfying if I figure it out on my own. And if I just follow a walkthrough from the internet, it's not going to be as exciting. So this is something that you need to do yourself. You need to ask yourself and be honest with yourself, right? This is about you being on the same page as life, not other people telling you, right? Cool. All right, well, I really hope this reading helped. If it did, please help me as well with a like, with a comment, and subscribe if you would like to keep hanging out, as this is a safe place where we figure life out together. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.